Mom's case can help shed some light on the fact that things are not being handled properly, then this is what we have to do.
Tough decision to speak openly about their mother's mental health struggles as they question how the Cape Girardeau County coroner is handling the investigation into her death.
Good evening, everyone. Under Missouri statute, a county coroner must investigate certain deaths, including when there's a reason to believe a person may have died by suicide or by some sudden unforeseen incident.
Well, the latest family to reach out to me as part of our First Alert investigation into the Cape Girardeau County coroner is still waiting for answers in their mother's death. Now, in fact, I mentioned this family's case last Friday, although I just had a police report with no names. Tonight, I can tell you the woman who died was 61-year-old Anita Zimmerman. Her two daughters want you to know about her life, her struggles, and why they feel Cape County Coroner Wavis Jordan is not properly investigating how she died.
Well, my mom was a lover of music. She used to play piano and sing.
Anita Zimmerman's daughters remember growing up in a house filled with music.
That was one of her greatest loves in life outside of her family and grandchildren.
But Brandy Ray and Victoria Restituyo also knew their mom struggled, both physically and mentally. She fought respiratory issues and needed a walker to get around. She had battled drug abuse, and there were past suicide attempts.
Even though she did have some mental health problems and some issues in her life, she was a human being. And she deserved just as much respect as the next person. And I feel like us as the family deserve respect regardless of anything she did to find out the truth.
The sisters want to know what caused their mother's death, and they question the actions of Cape Girardeau County Coroner Wavis Jordan in providing those answers. This Cape Girardeau police report details the discovery of Anita Zimmerman's body in her Cape Girardeau home the afternoon of December 10th, 2023. Brandy Ray arrived with her husband, and a Cape officer told her an evidence technician was still working inside. These police photos show pill bottles and loose pills on the table near the couch where an officer found Zimmerman's body.
And so in that moment, I told him, I said, I need to make sure that you have all the facts and information here. And she does have a history of some mental illness, and she has tried to attempt suicide in the past on different occasions.
Ray next spoke to Coroner Jordan.
He told me that he was very sorry for my loss, and I briefed him on everything I had told police about her whole history. We discussed what they had found right there, that there was still alcohol there, and he told me, with my husband present and my grandmother present, that he was going to list the causes as natural preliminary, and that he would run a toxicology screen on her and see if we found anything.
Victoria Restituyo tells me she also brought up their mom's history with the coroner.
When I got there, I didn't know what discussions had taken place prior, so my number one question was, could this have been a suicide? Because she'd had attempts before.
Did you tell him that directly? Mm-hmm. She describes what she saw in her mom's home.
They had picked up the pills already. I was told they were there, but they still had the alcohol on the table. There was a cup filled with vodka, we found out. And we found an empty container of vodka as well as another one that wasn't empty.
According to the police report, a Cape officer briefed Coroner Jordan outside Zimmerman's home about the facts of the incident, and the coroner advised the officer it sounded like a natural death. The report indicates that conversation took place before the coroner entered the home, examined Zimmerman's body, or looked for any possible evidence himself at the scene. The sisters say they did not have any other contact with Coroner Jordan until the morning of December 19th. That's when Victoria called to check on the toxicology report Jordan reportedly discussed with police and the family back on the 10th.
I called him Tuesday morning and asked him what the status was on the toxicology report for my mother, and he said he wasn't doing one. And I said, well, it was discussed at the scene that we were going to have one done. And he said, no, that never happened. He was just very short with me. There was really no discussion. He was flat out, it's not happening.
It was very upsetting. I, as a former healthcare professional myself, I hold myself to a certain standard, and I cannot believe that what he told me was going to be taking place is not what he is doing.
When I first reported on this case, I highlighted a portion of the report where Coroner Jordan made a comment regarding how he planned to document Anita Zimmerman's death. I learned during this interview he made that statement directly to Brandy Ray.
Wavis advised them that he was going to document this incident as a heart attack just for paperwork purposes because suicide is a sensitive subject. And I told him that I understand that suicide is a very sensitive subject, but that's why I had brought it to his attention that it could be a possibility. We just want the truth.
And that's why these sisters decided to speak out and to make public such a private part of their family's history.
We're all a part of this community, and I don't want anybody else at all to have to go through this or to be left with unanswered questions or to feel like their family member didn't matter.
So I learned late this afternoon there will be a toxicology report done on Anita Zimmerman, even if her family has to pay for it. Brandy Ray tells me it is her understanding the funeral home is in communication with Coroner Jordan to have a blood sample sent off for testing, and the family will be notified when it comes back. We once again reached out to Coroner Jordan. I spoke with him directly about this report. We are waiting for his reply.